Hey everybody, welcome back to a new Krita tutorial. Today we're going to go over the fill bucket and some updates that Krita 5.1 has made for that. For starters, the fill bucket's in your toolbar on the left here, and it's right between the enclose and fill tool and the smart patch tool here. When you click on the fill bucket, go over to your tool options and you can see that there's some stuff here, right? So I believe by default, or what it used to be, was you could just fill the selection. So if you just use the lasso tool with the fill bucket, you only fill the selection. Or you could use the foreground, background, or pattern. And if you didn't have a selection, it would just fill the whole layer, depending on if there was anything else there or not. Now, we have an option of continuous fill. This is a pretty neat feature. So, just like the normal fill, we can do the foreground, background, or pattern here. We have threshold and spread that we can mess with. We can use selection as boundary, all that good stuff. Pretty much the same as other selection tools and like the enclose and fill tool as well. So, whoops, put that back. So down here, we're going to start with referencing the current layer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate, whoops. Oh, I guess we'll just merge the group. No, we'll duplicate and merge the duplicated group. There we go. So we're referencing the layer that we're currently actively on, which is this option here. So we can just click and drag, and as you can see, it is continuously filling those areas that my cursor is going over. Now it's not perfect because this line work isn't perfect to begin with, but this is pretty neat. I like this. So you could see that because the line art's not perfect, it was a little pixelated, it wasn't really filling in the entire area nicely. So we can just go ahead and grow that. So now it's still not perfect, but it's filling in those areas a little bit better. Just going to put that back down. I'm going to decrease that back to 1. Gives me a little cleaner option. And you can see if I'm continuously like scribbling over this, it's filling in those little areas too. I'm going to undo that. Now this is pretty cool because if you just want, let's say you want this area to have some blue, and then you want this area to have green, and we'll make that super green. You can basically make a really cool effect here by continuously filling something in. So similar to the enclose and fill, but now you can just, you don't have to like select anything, you can just click and drag, and you can fill back in something you've already done, which is pretty cool. And I'm going over everywhere with this. So just as a note, you don't have options like the enclose and fill to fill the color based on what's already there or what's not there, all that crazy stuff. So if I want to make her skin purple, it's gonna fill everything that is already that orange color. But because it's not, I can just go fill that in like normal. So I think that's pretty neat. Now, just like before, we can do referencing all the layers. So we're going to turn this off and we're going to go here. This should reference everything that's active. So you can see I have the scales. I can do a light purple, kind of mix that up a little, which is nice. So we can add some variation. We'll do some really dark purple. Add some lighter purple again. And that's basically it for the drag, or for the continuous fill. It's not too intense. It's very simple to use. Very similar to the enclose and fill, but without needing to select anything. You also have the reference option to reference layers with these color tags, which we did in the enclose and fill. So if I were to only focus on the purple layers, which are her arm bracelets here or her helmet here, I could do that. So this will let me change color, or the color based on similar colors that are already there. So if I want to change some of this to blue, I'm just going to click on the dark purple and drag. You can see I'm dragging it over to the lighter purples, but it's not changing that color. So again, if you have one color you put down and you want to change it to something different because maybe it's just not working out for you, you can do that. You don't have to like eyedrop it or anything either. It's just click on that color and just start refilling it in. And no matter how much I try and go to the transparent area, it's not going to fill that in because it's not the option I have. But if I go back to filling in everything, I can go and fill in these empty areas and be crazy with it and click the wrong thing. And that's really it for the continuous fill. Very simple, like I said, and you do have the options to change the threshold, the grow, and the feather if you want. The same options that you would get with any selection tool. And go ahead and fill in your line art. I think this is a pretty cool tool, and I can see a lot of uses for it, just like the enclose and fill, especially for something like this, because if I want to do something that requires colors that are like the scales, or for example, some of my characters have leaves for hair, or instead of hair, this is going to make my life easier because I can just click and drag. I don't have to sit there with the brush and fill in per color, like, oh, this is all purple or green, and then I have to do blue. I'm going to save myself a lot of headaches and a lot of time, and you will too. So hopefully this video was helpful and you learned something new. And you like this tool, I highly recommend it. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below, and as always, I will do my best to answer them. And if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.